Good morning, everybody. My name is Nate Morris, and I'd like to welcome you back to another video. Today, we are back at Charlotte Motor Speedway for round number 8 of the Summer Shootout. After our struggle for speed last week, we're looking to get our program facing back in the right direction. And now that I know that we can find a top 15 finish with not necessarily having the fastest car in the world, I'm definitely feeling confident about this week. In practice on Monday, I ran some pretty competitive times. In the final practice session, I was able to finish off 12th on the board, so I'm feeling pretty good going into today. Before qualifying, we had a delay for weather, so that pushed the start of our session back by a couple hours, and the track is a lot cooler now, which should help me be able to lay down a better lap time. The unfortunate thing is, because qualifying has been pushed back a couple hours, is that we have been limited to 2 laps of qualifying versus the usual 4. The last time we had 2-lap qualifying due to a weather delay, I didn't do so good. I qualified second in the B main, but the good news for today is the track is a lot cooler, and I do a lot better on a cooler track. So hopefully I can go out there and fire off with some speed, be able to lay down some solid laps, and get a good starting position for tonight's race. Thank y'all for clicking on today's video. I hope y'all enjoy it, and let's get into it. Yes, I was able to run a really strong time on my second lap to qualify me straight into the feature, and I'm 14th. I'm really happy with that. I was able to run a 17:42, which is my best qualifying time ever here at Charlotte. And like I said, we're going to be 14th. We're already starting inside that top 15, so all I've got to do is keep focused on driving forward and try to get up into that top 10. If we get into the top 10 and get a top 10 finish, I would be very happy with that. So I'm excited to see what happens.
And Isaac Kitzmiller, your front 5. Track caution lights are out. Butler on the low side. Neal, the real deal. Doolin on the high side. Green lights are on. Racing down into turns 1 and 2. Butler by half a car length, but Doolin gets a good run on the high side.
And after that, it's 3 and 4 wide, and holy cow, how we got through turn 1 like that, I'll never know. That was some fantastic pieces of driving, but just like that, Steve, everybody's watched those first couple of races, and where is the groove right now? Not quite back to the very bottom, but you're not losing a lot of time on the inside of the racetrack like Aiden McConaughey right now. He's making hay, trying to pick up a spot. Everybody else has graduated very quickly down to the inside white line.
Yeah, getting down there, that is for sure. As we continue on now here with this VP Racing Fuel Semi-Pro feature event. 2 laps are in the book. Sam Butler has a win earlier this season. Sam picked up that victory back on round number 4, and he's got that 81 car. Miller Performance 81 car wound up. Neil Doolin runs in the 2nd spot. Aiden Brinkley doing a nice job in 3rd. Aiden McConaughey is 4th in the points leader. In the number 60, Dylan Faulkner, round out your front 5 as they make their way up off from turn number 2 onto the backstretch.
And very quickly this race starting to settle out. Really the first side-by-side fight is Jackson Reynolds and Randy Phillips. And it wasn't that long ago, Steve, Randy Phillips was struggling to make this race through the B main. Here he is inside the top 10. It's been a stellar day for him, stellar couple of weeks really. He's starting to figure things out with his program, and now he slots into position number 6 ahead of Reynolds. And even the same goes for Nate Morris, the 25 car there, part of the 510 Racing stable. Nate was in the B main the first few weeks, and he now has figured out the qualifying game, and he's got himself, for now anyway, solidly inside the top 10. And you know what? That's what you want sometimes. You have a summer where he doesn't start good, and you have to just constantly improve, and those guys have certainly done just that.
One of the joys of watching this year after year and week after week here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Cookout summer shootout to see the progress that so many drivers make, whether it's progress week to week or whether it's progress year to year. And we've seen it across the board, and they've done such a good job. Sam Butler is the race leader. I'll tell you, Neil Doolin, he's a former champion here at the Speedway, as Neil Doolin was last year's Young Lions champion here. And just to see his progress here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, as he is won the first race and then won another one, Young Lions champion last year, and here he is now in the VP Racing Semi-Pro ranks, a two-time winner this season. Again, the progress these young racers are making is really fun to watch, and we're witnessing some awful good racing here in this VP Semi-Pro race.
That we are. When was the last time we had a summer shootout driver winning 3 cup races in a season? It's been a heck of a year.
Right, exactly.
I will tell you. As the semi-pros, problems, turn 4, we're stacking them up. Nearly had one up and over.
So, practice what I preach, and I want you to make sure you get out to a racetrack this weekend as well. Lots of great racing all across the country. Lots of great racing here on the front stretch. Sam Butler gasses it up. Neil Doolin down on the low side. Here we go. Back racing into turns 1 and 2.
Butler on the gas, able to pull away from Doolin, Brickley, everybody else double file behind him. Tell you what, Adam Brickley, not a name we've really talked about at all this summer. Maybe we had him in a B-main or somewhere back towards some of the action, but what a run for Adam Brickley. Here he is trying to steal the runner-up spot away from Neil Doolin. And we talked about it, Steve. Sometimes it takes just certain things clicking as problems for Nate Morris. He'll bring out the Pro Fabrication caution. Another car out in the turf as well, but 2 of them turned backwards. That's Jackson Reynolds over in the turf, but we are slowed with 10 laps complete.
Yeah, you talk about Adam Brickley in that number 1B car, the racer out of Moore.
Well, that went from being a great run to being turned completely upside down in about 30 seconds. On the restart, I had a great launch on the inside. Before the race started, it rained a little bit, so some of the races before us had essentially rain races. It started to dry off by the time we got there, so there was really only rain on the very top of the track and the very bottom of the track. So the bottom lane was a little bit treacherous to run in, but I was able to hit it just right and get a great drive off on the inside of the 22 car. On the second lap of the restart there, I was on the inside of the 22 car, and I was able to get to the inside of the 9 car coming off of turn 2. And I was fixing to be passing for 7th, which would have been, I believe, the highest I've ever run in a summer shootout race. And then halfway down the backstretch, the 22 decided he was going to go for a gap that just wasn't there, and he drove into my right side door and spun me around. And, that would be one thing, but then, as you can see here under caution, when he gets sent to the back, when I passed him, I gave him a thumbs up, a good job, buddy. Just spun us out for 7th, 10 laps into the race. And so then he came back around me and decided, well, you can see what he decided to do here. So I was going to just let it go and chalk it up to a racing incident. But right there, that one, we're going to dive into this a little bit harder. So going down the backstretch, you can see here on the Flow Racing footage, this is, independent footage, not mine. Nobody, it's Flow Racing. It's the actual broadcasting of the event. They've got a great view here of what happened. Going down the backstretch, I got to the concrete, which is, you wash up off the bottom of the corner. You come to the concrete there to try to get a run into the next corner. And so I left room because I was on the inside of the 9 car, and I knew the 22 was back there as well. So I left a good bit of room. I was here on the white line. I was going to paint the white line all the way down the straightaway and then turn in for turn 3. So I'm on the white line. The 9 car's up at the wall. There's about maybe a car width of a gap between us, but I mean, it's very close if it is. I'd say it's a little over half a car width. And so the 22, he gets a great run down the backstretch just like I did. The 9 kind of bobbled or whatever, but we both got a great run on him. And so the 22 tries to take that small gap there in between the two of us and just drives into my right side door and turns me around going into turn 3. And so that took a great run that we've had and turned it into, back of the field again. So after the race, I went and talked to him about it. Why are you wrecking us and then flipping us off down the backstretch? And his claim was that I turned up on him. But again, I refer to the Flow Racing footage where I held it on the white line the whole way down the backstretch. You can see I didn't waver. You can see from my back camera here, it's a little funky. We've got a 360 camera in there right now, and I'm trying to figure out how all that works. So it's a little bit funky looking. I apologize for that. But you can see here when we get to the concrete, so my left sides are on the white line, you can see how much room we have between us. By the time he wrecks me, you can see how close he was. So he definitely came down the track and got into us there. So it is what it is. I hate that it happened. Obviously, it ruined a great run for us, and it put him to the back too. So I just don't see the reasoning there for it. Maybe he's just oblivious, or I don't know. You never know what the deal is there. It just seems like not a smart move to me. Seems like if it was me, he is faster than I am. He's won 2 races this year. He's been on a great run. He's third in the championship. So what he should have done is backed out of it, pulled down behind me, and then in the next corner, get into my back bumper, slide me up the track, and roll on with it because he is fast enough that he will pass me, within 3 laps. But instead, he decided to give himself a bad night for the championship run and take us both out, send us to the back. It doesn't help his championship hopes any more than mine to go to the back of the field and not get as good a finish as he would have got. He probably would have finished top 5, ended up finishing the race in 14th. Just a frustrating turn of events for us after such a great run tonight. We definitely needed it way more than he did. We've been struggling to get in that top 10, and we had such a good night going, and just to be wrecked by someone who normally drives so good. He drives some great races. He races late models, and he just pulled a stupid maneuver and took our great run away from us.
And as much as I'm marveling about him, they're marveling about him and just saying, no, it doesn't make me mad. It makes me respect him, the way he drives the race car.
Absolutely.
We'll see what he can do coming up in the Masters division. The American Rebel Light Pro division coming up, with the Gilling Pro division coming up a little bit later on. Oh, we got them all over turn number 1.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, we've got wheels flying and tires rolling around, and that's never good. You want to have all parts of your race car at all times.
And that's all she wrote for us. On that restart there, obviously I was starting dead last, so I was trying to get a little bit of a jump on the field, so I lagged back a little bit trying to get a run, and I misjudged the start and didn't get quite the run I needed. Got a little bit sideways getting up onto the front stretch, and just didn't get the run I needed getting down into 1. So I saw them all check up a little bit, and I thought it was a good opportunity to try to get back in contention. So I did sail it off in there a little bit on the top side, and then I couldn't see past the 22 car very well, but I was assuming there was going to be a lane there with them all checking up, and I didn't realize there was a wreck going on. So as soon as the 22 car hit the brakes and I got to within seeing distance of the car in front of him, I realized the 27 was coming straight across the track, and last minute I tried to avoid it, just didn't have enough time to react with any level of success. So got rid of our front wheel on that one, so that's going to end our night for sure. But yeah, rough situation. I don't know what there was just a stack up there on the restart. Everybody got kind of hooked together, and that's what resulted in the wreck. Not necessarily anybody's fault, just a bad incident. The frustrating part of that is we wouldn't be here without the 22 car spinning us out to bring out this last caution. And, just because that our night's going to finish up a little prematurely. So, it was a great week. Otherwise, we showed a lot of good speed, had a great qualifying effort to put us in the top 15 and put me in contention there. On that first lap, I was able to pull off a great maneuver to the outside. I passed 6 cars in that lap, got up to 8th, and then dropped back to 9th before attempting to get up to 7th before we got spun out there on the next restart. And overall, we just had a great night. If we could have finished it off, it would have been phenomenal for us. If we could have finished in the top 10. And I'm not saying there's not a chance we could have gotten to the top 5. If I could have got into 7th there and obviously just picked off 2 more cars, we'd have been right there. And, who knows what this run could have turned into. And that's been a couple runs for us so far this year. We've had some great results, but we've also had some what ifs. And tonight we definitely turned into a what if. But, yeah, overall, we had a great week. Definitely picked up the speed we couldn't find last week and put us in great contention. And hopefully we can bring it back for rounds 9 and 10. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.